this event and why it's unique being here?
It is extremely unique. We see bills at HNA and different shows and things like that, but they're done on a concrete floor and then they're taken away. It's not permanent. I don't think we've ever done anything like this on this scale before. We did all of the hardscaping in the front, the steps and what have you. We put an amazing water feature in the back, which I got to watch from start to finish. We've got porcelain tile going in, pavers going with all kinds of unique designs, and it's real life, real time, going to be here for the next 30, 40, or 50 years. I don't think this industry has ever had anything quite like this before. It's a very unique event. We need many more. Hopefully this is the first of many of these events.
What were you most excited about coming here to do?
I was really open-minded. I didn't, like a lot of people on the first go-round, didn't quite know everything that I was going to be getting into. The water feature blew me away. I'll have to say, of all the things, of everybody that came here for this week-long event, I could probably honestly say I have learned more than anybody else here because I started at a much lower level. I'm not a hardscaper by trade. I've learned more this week than I've learned in the last year wandering around at different bits and pieces, because you got it all here. You got everything here. But the water feature, seeing the basin that they put in, the way they put the plastics and the felt under it, the way they slung the rock in and placed those where they wanted and put the lighting under it, phenomenal, extremely educational. Yeah.
What's it been like being here, kind of, on the ground level, literally with all these contractors from various places?
We have the creme de la creme here. With this event opening up like this, we had people that think forward, that saw what they were getting into to come out to attend this. And anytime you're with a group of like-minded people in any industry that are moving themselves and everybody around them, the industry itself, forward, that's always positive, no matter where that occurs. We have that in Toronto, we have it in HNA, and we have it right here. And you build bonds with these folks. It's one thing to stand back and watch something being assembled. These guys are hands-on. They're putting it together. You're working side by side. That builds a camaraderie that you don't have elsewhere. And you get to see all the intricate little details that fall through the cracks during regular structured training. There's all kinds of mistakes that happen whenever you're on a construction site. Those are filtered out most of the time because you don't want to see those. We saw some block here that had to be pulled out and moved because they were cracked. I don't know where they got cracked, moving them in or what have you, but we saw some things that go wrong like they always go wrong. And we saw professionally how it was corrected, how it was handled. That is a huge part, especially for these guys that haven't been in the industry so long. Sometimes you have a big mistake and you think that's going to cost me this whole job, and they just want to cover it up. You don't do that. These guys don't do that. It's rough and it hurts a little bit, and you kind of see that. You see that twitch. Damn it. I heard that said a couple of times today with a couple of these things but they pull them up, they fix it like you should. They set industry standards, which is what we're doing here.
Tell me about some of the other manufacturers and vendors out here and what that's like to have everybody, how it's any different than being at a trade show and just having another booth at a trade show.
Well, like I said, we've got Structure and Tree here, who's a premier lighting installer, manufacturer, and they install. And I got to see Paul actually putting his lights into the water feature. And like I say, you see all the little tricks that he does. And as he's doing it, he might not be thinking about this when he's at a trade show because you got a lot of stuff to think about. But here he's on site doing it. This is going to be in the ground for the duration of the project. Hopefully 25, 30, whatever years it's going to be here. So he'll do all those neat little things to ensure the stability and the long-term life of the project, that when you're in HNA, it's going to be there for an hour and it's going to be torn down and go somewhere else. This is real life. We don't get that very often, which is cool. So not only does it bind you with hardscaper to hardscaper, but the manufacturers, you get to see why they do some of the things that they do. You get to see why you might need to pay just a little bit more. I heard him talking a minute ago, giving pricing on a plastic component with a light and a brass. The pricing was like 10% different. One of them had a 5-year warranty, the other had a lifetime warranty. You miss a lot of that stuff at the hustle bustle unless you get it here. And he showed when you're putting it in why you need one over the other. Yeah, and it's really cool. I tell you to go out afterwards and have dinner and talk with the different vendors and plan our next trade shows. And there's a lot of camaraderie between vendors. I mean, we kind of like a brotherhood here too, where the hardscapers see each other in town from day to day. We see each other in San Francisco, Dallas, Canada. It's a real extended family, and it's really cool when you can help each other out traveling like that.
How would you explain what this event is to somebody that isn't here or has no clue what it's about?
You know, that was a challenge since this is a premier event, actually the first one that I know of that's ever happened on this scale. That was a challenge right off the bat. Now, you guys are going to be crucial. The camera and the coverage that you got of this is going to show from this point forward what actually did happen here. So you're going to be more a part of that than actually I am as far as storytelling. This is what happened this year. This was the first run. Wait till you see what's coming next year or the next one and the next. So yeah, it's and you're going to see a lot of, everybody here is on Instagram now. And I've seen some amazing amateur videos. I hate to call these guys amateurs, but they're hardscapers by profession, but they do this so much, they're almost at the pro level, especially Dylan shot a drone going up that water feature, that waterfall. That's going to be really cool. Anybody that can catch it, follows Dylan here, try and catch that video of that drone up that waterfall. It's beautiful.
What would, like, if you're going to print a headline, in an advertisement somewhere about this event?
Yes.
How would you describe it?
That is a very good question. Let's see. I would probably say
LinQ Academy is blah 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 blah.
LinQ Academy is the quickest hands-on learning experience you're going to get anywhere in this country.
What are you gonna go home with?
I'm going to go home exhausted, for one thing. I'm going to go home with, I've connected with a lot of good folks here that have bought my level, a lot of them that have given me some really cool ideas. I'm going home with even more ideas on various ways to use smart level in the field. I love being in the field. You see a lot of engineers that design that never step out of an office complex. I step into my office when I have to. Otherwise, I'm out doing this because as Luke was designing the water feature, he wanted to split the water around the rock. Well, you've got to make sure that your heights are the same on splitting that water, or all of it's going to come one way, none of it's going to go the other way. Well, with traditional methods, a laser, that's kind of complicated. With smart level, you just set it here and zero it. Over here, if you're 3.5 inches high, water's not going to run uphill 3.5 inches. It was really cool to see him. I got to actually video part of that too. So when I'm out watching these guys use the level, they come out with some really cool little innovations and things that I haven't thought about. And I also see some guys that may be doing something that I think, okay, here's a little better way to do that. I don't know that I'm missing the boat on explaining that in some of my videos until I see, that guy watched my video, but he didn't quite understand what I was getting at. So I'm coming out of here with a lot of information on how to better train, which is extremely important. Over the next 18 months or 2 years, training is going to be vital for the smart level crew.